Welcome to the Reptile Show Reporter Show. Start the music. Hey, I got my glasses on. I can actually see.
I didn't see no dancing going on there.
Oh, we didn't see any dancing going on? All right, there we'll do dance a little bit for Bill. All right, this is the third try, but we're going to get this one done. Rob's actually here. We'll welcome adventurers. This is the Reptile Show Reporter scheduled live show. It is Wednesday at 8 p.m. Eastern. At least that's what my phone is telling me. My body thinks it's 7 p.m., and that's my daylight savings problem. I've been Rob, you don't know this, but I've been complaining about daylight savings ever since it started this year. I don't know why. I just can't get my body to set right. But when we get back and we get done with this daylight savings time, I'll be able to do what I need to do on the right time. Bill Strand is here, the headmaster of the Chameleon Academy.
Hello.
Hi, Bill. You're not even in the Eastern time zone, Bill, right? So you're Pacific.
No way.
Right?
I'm pulling up the West.
The West, exactly. See, now you're calling it the West and not Pacific.
See, you're Bill, you're 3 hours difference out there, right? So you're like what, 5 p.m. right now?
Yep.
Careful logo placement with my my mug here. All right. Today we have the promoter of the Glass City Expo scheduled, and he's here, Rob. How are you?
Thanks for having me here.
Oh, I'm happy to have you. I'm glad we were able to do this. I just met you about a month ago. It'll be Sunday. It'll be 4 weeks or whatever since I went to the show and met you, and it was a great time. So before we get going, Bill, any announcements?
No announcements on my side. Just doing the standard chameleon stuff. Got shows coming out Thursdays, Fridays, and lives on Saturdays and Tuesdays. And so if you like chameleons, I got what you need.
All right, you're pushing the chameleons. I understand. Bill's a longtime podcaster with the Chameleons and the Chameleon Academy and the Chameleon Enthusiast Facebook. So he's been a long time in this game. He got me into this a few years back, and somehow, as I just started on the Chameleon Enthusiast group, somehow I ended up here on this live show with him. So I don't know what happened. It's been 3 or 4 years of a journey, but here we are. So Rob, what about you? Any announcements that are happening right now? Anything new at the show or anything? I know the show is going to be this Sunday in Toledo, the Glass City Expo. Anything scheduled unusual or anything you want to tell everybody about?
Nothing really new. We still work on the same promotion things. We do breakfast, lunch. We have a cash bar, pop water, beers, different drinks for people. Working on some giveaways. We have a couple vendors that always promote us. They like to do free little starter cage giveaways. Maybe a couple geckos this week for a giveaway.
Wow.
We do live animals. We try to make sure the parents are, we don't want the kids to win them. Make sure the parents win them. And nothing new. I'm looking for some more vendors. I picked up 10 more tables, so we're looking at a little bigger expo. Hopefully next couple months.
Yeah, that'll be kind of pushing the space there, huh?
Yeah, we're gonna push 40 tables and see how it goes.
Wow,
that's
great.
Not big, but that for around here, it's pretty big. So
sure, I'm sure. Okay, all right. So for me, the podcast continues to be a work in progress. I continue to edit. Editing is getting done. It is progressing, and slowly but surely, I'm the tortoise in this one. Although I don't think I think the hare has already won and gone home and taken a shower. But I'm going to just keep doing editing the podcast as time goes on. I've got 4 in the can. I just got to make them and produce them. You can see from my social media on the Reptile Show Reporter social media, I've got the daily things. I update the Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I do the 4 buckets or the pillars that we have on Mondays. I interview or I show a attendee. I'm done with my family, so I can't be doing those anymore. I'm gonna have to meet some attendees on Sunday and talk to them so that I can show their pictures that day. On Tuesday we do the show. Last week I did this week I did the show out of Fremont, the BRM show, and I featured that. And Vendors is Wednesday. I featured Ann Panette, who is actually going to be my second podcast. It's already in the can and done. I just have to send it out, but waiting to get a few more podcasts completed before we do that. And Thursday, the potential pets, which is tomorrow. I had a whole slew of pets that I added to the thing, so that's what you'll see. So,
what kind of pets are you adding? What's going on with that?
Just what what I just take a picture of whatever pets I see at the shows, and I show people and I feature them. Last week I just featured a whole bunch of different ones because I forgot to get an individual picture, unfortunately, and I didn't want to repeat some of the past. So I just try to show what pets are available and what you can see and what it's like. So that's what we do.
We have a ball python we're trying to figure out. I picked up from a buddy of mine that was getting out of the hobby that we're trying to figure out genes on. Maybe I'll bring that Sunday. And if you're up there, we can get some pictures. Maybe we can get some nationwide help on that because nobody can figure out what kind of genes are in this snake.
Sure. No, I'm happy to help and be a source for the help and, let people join in and talk about it. So that'd be great. That's a good plan. I will definitely, if God willing, and if the creek don't rise, I guess there's a lot of creeks around here. There's one behind me, but it would have to rise 60 feet in order to get up to my house. So even then, it would still be only at the level of my yard. So I don't think that'll happen too much tomorrow. But there's all that pollution in the air now, so that's a little bit of a challenge. But I think I can drive in that, not an issue. So we can do that this weekend.
All of our Canadian smoke down here.
Yep. Oh, there's a lot of it here. It was choking me out today. I couldn't go biking because I just didn't think I'd be able to get it done. But anyways, all right. So let's ask questions about the show. Rob, how long ago did you start it?
We started March of 2021. March of 2021. So we're about 2.5 years in.
Okay.
I've been doing reptiles about 30 years. Different snakes. We just got into lizards about 3-4 years ago. Just a decision that one day we were sitting down talking about things, and we vented a couple of different shows, and we vent Fremont BRM. We like that show. They're good people out there. We just decided it was time to try something different. So we tried it. We set it up with the hall. I belong to the hall. I'm a member of the American Legion Hall through family members.
Okay.
And we tried it. And we liked it. It's a struggle. Some months we break even. Some months we make a few dollars, but every month it gets better and better. The reviews are good for it.
That's good.
I love it. It's a good rush to set up Saturday night, and excitement Sunday morning, who's going to show up, what's going to be there.
Okay. So you're the first Sunday in the month, right? That's what you plan to be?
Every first Sunday. We've never missed a date. We only changed 2 dates, which was the 4th of July weekend. This year we're keeping it the weekend, the second, because it's the week before the 4th of July.
Okay.
So we're every first Sunday of the month from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.
Okay, great. How did you choose 10 a.m. to 3 p.m.? I know that's a lot of them around here are the same, but how did you decide on that?
That's just what we did. The first show was 10 to 4, and we figured, 6 hours was a little long. So we went back to 10 to 3. Most shows been running for as long as I can remember about the same time. They go like 9 to 3, 9 to 2, 10 to 3, 10 to 4. So we just kept it the same general times everybody else does them.
Yeah, I found it a challenge to go to those types of shows because I'm not a morning person, and the Medina show is where I vended at one point, and I had to get up at 6 o'clock in the morning to get there and get all my stuff there and pack it up. So it was kind of challenging for me. I would prefer the show start at noon and go to 8, but I don't think the rest of the world wants to go agree with me. So I'll have to either get my own show here in Northeast Ohio or just talk somebody into doing that. But then on the other hand, everybody knows the shows are 10 to 3 or 9 to 3. So I think that's probably already an issue that's kind of come and gone. But
right. If you think about people as creatures of habit, I mean, they're used to being up and being there at the shows. And then also think about vendors who have, say, 4 or 6 tables where they bring 200-300 animals.
Yeah.
They also have all the display cases. So you got to pack up that whole, lot of all your display cases, pack your animals, make sure they're warm for the night, pack up the night before. Then it takes you, we have one vendor comes in at 7:30. It takes him 2.5 hours. So at 10 o'clock, he's just finishing setting up his tables. So
I guess maybe I should have done that Myself, I packed them up in the morning. I got up early. I packed them up before the lights came on. I did a flashlight in the basement or turned some lights on and picked up my animals. And I'm not a major. I only took 6 or 7 animals to chameleons, particularly to a show. So it wasn't like I was packing up a bunch, but I had 6 or 7 cages, and then I had backup animals. So if I sold stuff, mostly I sold plants. That was kind of the weird thing. I did it for 10 months, but I love doing it. And I've been doing these shows, going to shows for 30 years or more. But it just was a weird thing because I was selling a lot more online. I'd sell 3 or 4 chameleons online and be at the show for 8 hours and get rid of one. And so it's kind of like, but chameleons, a lot of people have them wild caught and they're very cheap. And I was selling them at captive bred and good quality stuff. But people just look at price and not quality. Because people don't understand. At least that's what we've seen.
A lot of people look at price first. Yeah, you're correct. You're exactly right.
And then a lot of the people ended up buying from me later online because they just they had their starter quote pet, unfortunately, and it ended up dying. And then they came to me and got a good pet. But nonetheless, that's the way things work. So, all right. So why did you start the show?
Just like I said, my wife and I sat down and talked about it for about a month, and I had a couple of friends that were interested in helping us out, and we did some research on it. And we were going to a couple local show or one local show around here, and we didn't really care the way it was ran. The gentleman who runs it was not very nice, to put it in easy terms. Try to make you set your table up your way, his way, do things his way, and we just decided it was time to start our own. So we talked about it for about a month, and we decided to jump into it.
Oh. So are you happy that you did so?
Most months, yes.
Mm-hmm.
There's sometimes that we don't get a good crowd in. Like this weekend, maybe kind of a slow show. It's holiday week and people out of town, which kind of makes you think twice about it. But then our customers expect us to be there every month, so we enjoy that part of it. The hall is a great hall. The people, the veterans there are very good to us. I'm volunteering my time. Next week, I'm going to start, helping power wash, scrape, paint the walls. We're going to paint the building. They're good people. We go up there on Friday nights. They have taco on Friday nights. We go eat supper with them, have a couple of drinks with them. I just enjoy it. I grew up in the country in Holland, Ohio, catching snakes, frogs, like every other kid did around. I've kept reptiles my whole life. My wife, I met her 4 years ago, and they were fur baby people. Her and the stepkids, they all had like chinchillas and ferrets and rats for pets. And then one of the daughters wanted a gecko, and I'm like, oh, this is awesome. I can get back into reptiles. So I was out for about 8 years. Now we're back into it full bore. So we have a 20 by 20 building that we breed snakes and lizards in. Plus we have reptiles throughout the house and birds also. So
wow.
We have cicada tortoises in the backyard that run the backyard all summer, and they go in a building in the wintertime for us.
Yeah. I think that much space would be dangerous for me. I already have way too much in my house. And my kids are all leaving at this point. So every time they leave a room, I start to think about what I could put in there and all the things I could put in there. And Bill's a bad influence on me. He gets me to get things that he can't get, because in California, you can't keep certain things like what, Bill? What are the
sugar gliders?
Sugar gliders and things like that. You can't have them in California. So
you can't have sugar gliders in California?
Nope. Sugar gliders, hedgehogs, ferrets, no.
Really?
Pocket pets, nah, not here.
Just because if they get loose, they live in the environment, or?
There's a number of very tortured reasons. We have a strong agricultural area. And so anything that eats fruit we don't want them anywhere near. So even is it little pocket parrots? I forget what kind, certain parrots. They eat fruit, they're not allowed in. Sugar gliders eat fruit, not allowed in. Ferrets, well, they decide, okay, well, if they get out, they might push out this native ferret that out of its natural habitat, which doesn't make sense because there's more ferrets in the state of California than there is anywhere else, even though they are illegal. And they haven't gotten out and hurt the environment. So that doesn't work. I don't know why hedgehogs are illegal. But yep, that's my, anyway, but it's probably a good thing for me.
For you,
For you, yeah, but
for
not
no
for
more
me.
pets.
I had to buy a hedgehog to get somebody on here 1 month, so or 1 week. So but my daughter wanted the hedgehog, so I bought it for her. But that's the way things go. But
They're cool pets. They're
yeah,
very cool.
mhm. There. He's actually in this, or she's actually in this room right in front of me. But I tried to take her out. I took her out when we were doing the show with someone who sold her to me, and boy, she was a little prickly to pick up at first until they get used to you. But yeah. All right, Bill. Any questions? I know you have questions, and I'm going to take
Oh,
a moment
yeah.
and stop talking.
Well, I'm very interested because of the different culture. The Pacific culture is to have large shows once, twice a year, and it becomes a big event, and we all plan it and, get dressed up. And no, I'm just kidding about that, but it's a big event for us.
You're
Whereas
wearing a suit and tie to your shows. Okay,
in your neck of
I
the
hear you.
woods, it's something that happens monthly. And so there's obviously a different feel to the show. But I'm very interested because this is all I know. How is it that your monthly culture got started, and why continue it that way?
Honestly, I don't know how it got started. I've been doing it for 30 years, going to shows.
Okay.
There used to be shows, guys used to rent hotel rooms 30 years ago, and you just walk, in and out of the rooms, and they'd have cages set up on beds, on dressers, and
Oh,
they'd
wow.
have coolers full of little deli cups of wild caught imported snakes and lizards and frogs and everything. And you just pick through the stuff, and then
I miss
somebody,
those.
somebody decided one day they were going to put it in a hall.
Mhm.
So, but monthly, because around here, people are creatures of habit. They want their feeders, their bugs, their insects, their rodents. For us, for me and my wife, it's a get together once a month. For a lot of our friends show up, a lot of our family shows up and supports us. So it's like a little get together once a month. A little, everybody comes and hangs out.
I wonder if it is so spread out here in California because it needs to be big enough to pay for a hall, which is pretty expensive here. So maybe it needs to be an event to be done here. I don't know the answer to that.
There's been a few guys who tried in our area doing like every 3 months a quarterly like monster show, and it just didn't work out.
Okay.
You advertise for a hall that size. You're looking at, who knows, upwards of $5,000 for the day. My
Yeah.
wife and I pay quite a bit of money for our hall for the daily rental, but we get in Saturday night to set up, and then we have till whatever time Sunday. If vendors want to stay late or if something's going on, there's no time limit for us.
Okay.
So it's a different price, but it's a smaller venue too. Like, we don't get people from across the country. So when you guys do yours out there, you promote this thing the whole year, kind of like a Tinley, Chicago,
Yeah.
a bigger show like that where it's twice a year.
Yeah.
You know?
We do have people that fly in.
Yeah, yeah. So we go to Tinley in Tinley Park in October every year, and that's huge. That's a 2-day, 3-day event. That's the same with people flying all across the country and do it. To where ours is like a monthly reminder of, hey, you need your feeders. Come
Yeah.
see your friends. Come see what's new.
Now, I would imagine that with everybody, the people in your area who are used to having a monthly show, it would be difficult to transition to having larger shows because everybody around the area is already going to a show every month.
Right, right. But we all do. We all travel. Like, there's months of the year like October. All the shows are no good because everybody's gearing up to go to Tinley for out here because Chicago's 5 hours away from us. So the
Okay.
shows get really slow. So
All right. So you've been doing this for 30 years?
I started breeding reptiles, ball pythons and green tree pythons about 18, 19 years old. I just turned 51.
Okay.
I got out of it for about 10 years, got back into it, got back out of it. Now I'm back into it again full time. So
Okay.
we're branching out. My wife does tegus. She does really high-end bearded dragons. We're going to try cicada tortoises next year. We have a male and a female. See how that goes.
Wow. Those are big.
Yeah, we have a pretty
like
big
having a
boy and a
little
good
thing.
sized female. I love arboreal snakes. So I love the green tree python. there's my wife's McCall's parrot. If you guys heard that,
Yep.
she's a little jealous
Yeah,
right now.
they're welcome. This is an exotic pet. It used to be called Exotic Pet Adventures, but we decided Reptile Show Reporter would be better. But so pets are welcome. My dogs show up from time to time. Hopefully, none of my tegus show up because they're supposed to be in a cage, but one of them keeps jumping out, and I gotta put a new top on the cage. So,
Oh, you have tegus too?
I have 3 tegus. I got 3 female tegus from somebody on one of the Facebook pages 4 or 5 months ago. He sold me 6 of them. I donated 3 of them to the rescue to resell, and because he was trying to get out of it. And I got the 3 females myself. So I'm raising them up. They're about 18 months old now. So we'll see what happens. I'll have to get a male and go ahead and breed them at some point. But just got them together, and they've been together since they were born, since he got them. So I'm not 100% sure. He got them off one of the online websites, is what he said. But you never know. What can't be certain what people say when they get to on Facebook and they're getting. But they were inexpensive and they were looking for new homes, and so I, as always, I went and got something. It was actually in the Toledo area. I don't remember where exactly it was, but it was out in the Toledo area. I went to get him.
Cool. Yeah, we have an imported black and white female. She's 5 years captive out of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
We have a male that is captive. We have a high red, het albino, het blue, or something like that. He's got the gold patches on top of his head. He is captive. They're all about 3 to 5 years old. We have 4 adults live in one huge enclosure.
Mm-hmm.
2 males, 2 females. They all get along great.
That's good.
And then my wife bought another female. We think she's a red blood or black blood, but she's also got blue in her. She just come out of brumation this year for the 2nd year, so she's still pretty small yet. She's like about a year and a half old. She's really tiny yet. But we brumate ours every year, so they grow slow and they grow the right way.
That's good. Yeah, I don't know if this guy I think he did say something about them brumating and just coming out of brumation when I got him. So hopefully they're done the right way. But I just figured I'd try them out a little bit as I do with everything else, and kind of go from there. I got tons of the chameleons and other stuff I have redfoot tortoises as well that I've got a bunch of. I get them from the Herps Live Rescue because people just abandon them, and I get them 5, 6, 10 years old so I can breed them almost immediately. But I've had a little bit of luck, but not much with that. But
are you breeding the redfoots too?
Yeah. Yes. Well, I have 1 male and 3 females in one cage that are 10 to 15 years old, and I have 2 males and 4 females in another cage that are all like 5 to 7 years old, and so they're starting to breed. I just got them. Oh, it hasn't even been a year since I've had all of them. This has just been each time. So I've got tons of space in my basement, and so they all live in different cages down there. So we'll see how things go.
Good. Mm-hmm. And what do you breed, Bill? You're just strictly chameleons?
I have a couple of odds and ends of non-chameleon reptiles. It's just easier for me to say non-chameleons. But
yeah, he likes to call them lesser reptiles, but okay.
Lesser beings. I'm mainly into chameleons, and so I do a lot with chameleons. Now, I've really pulled back on the breeding just because of the amount of time it takes to do the breeding. But I will plan on doing at least 1 breeding a year for the educational, because I have a huge chameleon educational outreach. I have this podcast that's been going on for 8 years. I have a website that encapsulates all the information that I've gathered over all of this time. I've been doing this for over 40 years. And so I do things with chameleons for educational purposes. Like you see behind me, I have all these different cages, and that's actually just for educating on how to take care of baby chameleons. And so there's a professional setup there. There's a bioactive setup there. There's a large adult size cage there. There's some very affordable screen cages there. And then I have some outdoor cages. And so this is an example of how I am doing things to demonstrate the different ways of taking care of a baby chameleon. And then you can go pro, con, and compare them all. And the people in the community can make a decision as to what is best for them in their situation. So that's the kind of thing that I do.
What's
All
your
right,
thoughts,
guys, I
what's your
forgot about
thoughts
the
on
chat.
bioactive?
I forgot to talk about the chat. We'll get to interrupt here. James Cross is here. Two Turtle Tom is here.
Smog's not bad.
Yeah, right. It's not.
It used to
nothing
be
like you guys
horrible,
have.
but not.
I
Stephanie
see
Kane
a
is
couple of
here.
our followers. I see a couple of our people from our
Yep.
page on here, friends of ours also.
Yeah.
Yep, Ron Pisek is a
Ron.
friend of ours from our page.
And let's see. That's Two Turtle Tom. Let's see. There's something else. There's Steve, probably Hefner's here. And of course, these are only people who say they're there. There's a lot more here. So Victor Daly's here. He said, yes, they did. I'm not sure what that was in response to, but oh, okay.
That was us talking about other shows in the area.
Right, exactly. Okay. All right. I forgot that I had the graphics on, and I forgot about the chat. 25 minutes. I hope that people stayed on when I didn't announce that they were here. But anyways,
all right, Rob, you had a question about bioactive. Right?
Yeah, I just want to know what your take is, because it seems like it's getting really popular, and everybody's wanting to do bioactive enclosures now. I mean, as far as like even a bearded dragon, but people at our expo, I explained to them, you can't do a bioactive bearded dragon because it's more of a sand, arid, dry setup. And in my, bioactive is more of a moisture, humidity thing, isn't it? Like, a dirt.
Well, you can do an arid bioactive.
Okay.
As long as you get the right, you can't get the same things like the same isopods of springtails that you would for a tropical, but
you'd also have to have a huge bioactive for a bearded dragon, because they, you wouldn't be able to get them cleaning up their poops. You'd have to have thousands of isopods to clean up a poop from a bearded dragon. I mean, I know that it's still good to be bioactive, but it's not going to be the same as a chameleon cage, kind of where you don't have to clean it.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to talk to the people who, because of things they've done in a previous life, are condemned to be bearded dragon people. Okay. But as far as chameleons go, the bioactive, it's difficult to do in a chameleon cage. If you've got an adult cage and you've got your standard tower-like, pillar-like cage, 2x2 by 4 foot tall, because if you want to do it right for a chameleon, you have an open area up top for the light, and then you have this very dense plant area. And what that does, I mean, that's for the chameleon because they can hide and they feel safe. Well, that blocks all the light from the bottom of the cage. And so with chameleons, if you want to do bioactive, it's like you've got two hobbies that you're doing with a chameleon, unless you are talking about babies or some of the miniature chameleons. In that case, going bioactive or at least naturalistic with a soil floor has actually opened up a lot of opportunities to work with rare species that we weren't being able to be successful with before. And that's because of and it may not be because it's there's a soil layer there, and it may be because there's a greater awareness of the hydration cycles and that awareness that came along with a bioactive, being aware of the bioactive in the environment. It may have been a package deal. But yes, bioactive is very popular. In most cases, it's not going to work with a chameleon. But in specialty cases, it's really opened up a lot of new information.
I know they're really popular, really good with, like, say, the crested geckos, the gargoyle geckos. I mean, they do amazing with them setups.
Yeah. So. And by the way, everybody, I love bearded dragon people. I'm just kidding when I'm.
My wife's a bearded dragon lady, but she won't put her face on the camera. So
yeah.
She
You
has.
saw
I
her
don't know.
earlier today, but you won't put it on while we're on live, huh?
No, she won't. She's sitting next to me with the bird right now, but she won't put her face over here.
So what we'll have to do is to have everybody show up Sunday, in Glass City, make it to Toledo, and stop by and say hello to her, and make sure she comes on sometime later.
Yep. There's the bird
Oh,
right there.
there's the
So,
bird. We see her arm and a bird.
yeah.
Wait.
That's her rescue baby. We rescued her. So
Was that a blue and gold?
yes, it was.
Oh.
And she does not like me at all.
Oh.
There she is.
Well, hello.
There's half her face, and then there's the bird.
No. Oh my goodness.
Hello.
Oh
How are you?
man.
Yeah, she does not like guys.
Hi.
She's scared of me.
Well, that's okay. You cannot like me. I'm gonna like you anyways.
I love her. I give her treats and I take care of her, but she does not. Every once in a while, she'll climb on me, but I don't stress her. I let her do her own thing, and she's happy. So,
all right, yeah. Got to let them do.
We have a lot of animals. We have 23 chickens that we eat and sell eggs. We don't eat the chickens; we eat the eggs. And then we have a mini mix farm pig. He's about 120 pounds. He's a big baby. Then we also have a mini pig who's about 20 pounds. He's really ornery, about 8 months old. And he's really ornery and likes to get in a lot of trouble. So we have 2 Great Danes, a pocket bully. We have birds. We have fish, saltwater tanks. We have all kinds of stuff.
Wow.
Which is why we call the expo an exotics expo, not just reptile, because we're trying to incorporate, we have a bird vendor. We have a lady who's coming. She does mini pigs. If you come Sunday, Sean, you'll meet her. She does pigs. She does prairie dogs. She does.
Oh, that's trouble for me, man. My daughter wants all these things, and my wife
she does
wants
ground squirrels. She does all kinds of stuff.
She wants a meerkat, but she can't have that, I don't think. But that's her favorite, I think, animal. But my puppy actually appeared. My one Cavachon seems to stand on his back legs like a meerkat. Looking over the whole territory. So that's kind of been enough for her so far. But next year we're moving to somewhere on the east side where my parents live, and because there's a limit to what I can actually keep at my home. Not as limited as Bill is, but I can't have chickens. It's the only city in the west side of Cleveland that you can't have chickens, and I don't know why. But we're gonna have 4 or 5 acres more than we do now, so it'll be a zoo. My name McZoo will be even more true. But that'll be sometime soon. But yes, and I
his
think the last
basement is bigger than my house.
His basement's bigger than your house.
That's because you live in California, Bill. This house would be $10 million. It's like not even $1 million, but it'd be $10 million in California, maybe more, depending on where it was sitting.
You are exactly right there, Sean. That's
on the 3 acres that encompasses the metro parks, the valley, and the water that's next to me. It would be $10 million over there in California, maybe more. And the taxes would kill me. I wouldn't even be able to afford the taxes. That is well the house, but that's the price you pay to have sunshine all year long. Now we have cold a couple months out of the year, like 9. But
I got to bring some of the chameleons in at night during the winter.
But you know what? The snow melts. Landslides don't go away. Forest fires don't unburn. It's kind of one of those positives in Ohio. So I think it's a good place to live. But and the cost of living is a lot cheaper than out there in California, Bill.
All right.
Our laws are a lot better here too, because the only thing we can't have here is venomous snakes. We can have venomous lizards and pretty much any kind of animal you want. Mm-hmm. I mean, we are in the city and we have a rooster. You can have one rooster.
So are you actually in the town of Toledo?
I live almost right across the street from my expo.
Okay. All right. I got it. Okay. So that's actually where my wife used to live until she was 10 years old. We went and visited her childhood home back when we visited the expo last month. She used to live what the heck? It's really what? Talbot Street.
Talmadge. Yeah, I'm about 2 miles from Talmadge.
Yeah, Talbot, not Talmadge. Talmadge is called, but Talbot Street. I think it's like down this. It's about a mile away from the expo.
Oh, Talbot. Okay, yeah, Talbot. Yep. Okay. No, we have one of the biggest houses on the street right here. It's a big,
Yeah.
huge, old white farmhouse that's probably been here. Well, it's been here since 1922, so it's probably here when there's probably nothing around this area at all.
Mm-hmm.
So we got 3 years, and then we're going out to the country where she wants horses, she wants goats, and all that stuff to add to our zoo too. So
There you go. That's
Yeah.
awesome. That's a
Yeah.
plan. All right, so let's go back to the. Bill? You have any more questions about the expo?
No. That's wait, let me go. Oh, how long have you been doing the expo?
our expo's been going. Glass City's been going on about 2.5 years. We're
2.5
still
years.
pretty young.
Okay.
So
And you say that there's 3 shows going on. The guy who was originally doing it and started to falter, is he back in?
from what I hear, his show is still going on. Yes.
Okay.
As far as how it's going, I really don't pay attention. She got put on her cage.
There you go.
I try to stay out of the business of the expos around here because of drama and things like that.
Yep.
Like there's a few expos that we support in outlining areas.
Mhm.
But like I said, I mean, there's 3 shows here every month, and
yours is the only Sunday show, correct?
Ours is the only Sunday show, correct? Yes, and I did that for 2 reasons. One, because there was no Sunday show here, and 2, because a couple of my main vendors are my lifelong friends that I met through breeding years ago when I ran a pet shop. So I ran a local pet shop here for a lot of years. The owner is a good friend of mine. One of my main vendors was a customer of ours there, and a couple other guys that come in and out got into breeding, 25 years ago. And they're our main vendors. So when I talked to them about doing a show, a couple of them never even vended shows before. It was the first time they were vending a show, was vending our show. And they were like, okay, well, we work Saturday, we can only vend on Sunday. I said, okay, we'll try a Sunday show, because Cleveland's on Sunday, Fremont's on a Sunday, and they do pretty good.
Yeah, Northeast Ohio's on the almost all the Eastern, the all Ohio one, which is in Columbus, is on a Saturday.
Columbus is Saturday, yes.
But that's the same one as the Medina one, which is the all Cleveland one. It's the same owner that has both of those. So they often are. They used to be back to back before the pandemic, and then we lost the show location up here in Cleveland. So they moved to Medina, and they kind of alternated in different weeks. But it's kind of better for the vendors, because that way they don't have to do 2 days in a row.
And a lot of vendors are getting older, like the old school guys, that the good vendors, the true vendors, they don't want to do back-to-back shows anymore. They'll do a show on a Saturday, then take the week off and do a Saturday or Sunday show the following week. To where a lot of younger guys, they go full bore. I have a vendor that does 8 shows a month, a young kid. He tries to do 2 shows a weekend.
Wow.
Saturday, Sunday, then work a full-time job Monday through Friday, take care of a couple hundred animals, and then do this. And I said, man, it's going to make you an old man real quick.
Yeah.
But our show,
I'm becoming old just thinking about it.
we downsized quite. We were 600 animals 2 years ago.
Wow.
600 reptiles. We've downsized to about, I don't know, 150. About 150 between snakes and lizards.
Mm-hmm.
It's too much, not the age wise, but my wife got a good promotion at work. She's now an assistant manager, so she's got more hours. Running the expo, running, ear reptiles, which is our online sales business. It's a lot. So we've downsized quite a bit, and it's more fair for the animals, because trying to take care of feed, water, clean, 500-600 animals a day, it's a lot.
Yeah, we know that. I think I have I'm in the same ballpark. Let's just put it that way. I don't like to talk about the number I have, because I don't know how the city would feel about me having so many animals, but or the housing department, the housing development, because I'm sitting here in the front of a housing development that doesn't like that kind of stuff. But what they don't know can't hurt them, I guess. But
that's exactly
not watching.
That's exactly. Yes, I have a very, very good friend of mine that's been vending for 30 years. That is a really big name, really big vendor that lives in a town in Michigan. That's the same way.
Mm-hmm.
He had to move all his animals out into a building, and then tell them, okay, they're gone, and then gradually bring them back in. And the city said, hey, look, just don't let everybody know what's going on here. but he buys and sells. He does, 2 shows a weekend, 8 shows a month. You probably know. I just don't want to mention his name on here live, but you probably know who he is, Sean.
Yeah, I
Because
probably do.
He does Fremont. He's did the Cleveland shows before. He's a pretty good sized vendor. But he's the same way you are. He's like, yeah, what they don't know now don't hurt them anymore. So, and he's in Michigan, and Michigan laws are more lenient than we have here. And they still got on about his animals in his house. So he took everything out, gradually brought it back in. Now the guy just said, hey, look, just don't tell us what you have here. So,
all right.
I don't
Victor
care.
Daly's telling you he's 24/7. Is that the guy you were talking about with all the
No. So I've known Victor for 30 plus years. He's a very good friend of ours. He's actually a vendor at our show. So he's actually
between your bird and my dogs, Bill, you got to get something making noise on the show. You're left out.
The only dart frog I got here is an Azurius, and they just trill really high pitched. I don't got anything that makes noise in here.
And chameleons don't make it. There's my dog. There's my Cavachon.
Our dogs are outside right now. They'd be going nuts trying to get on camera with us.
Uh-oh, here we come. I think my wife let come here, lady.
Bill, do you do the panther chameleons by chance?
I do. I have a number of panther chameleons, and the babies that I have in all these cages are panther chameleons. And I actually started a panther chameleon podcast to help the panther chameleon community.
I just lost ours. We actually got ours from a girl who used to vend for us, and we're not sure how old he was. He was eating good, doing good. I bought a brand new fogger for him at Live Plants. He put him in the arid, like you have, 24 by 48 cage. And he was doing good in here in a small enclosure. I put him in the building in a bigger enclosure, and he lasted about a month. So we're not sure how old he was.
Okay.
And I'm heartbroken. I want another one, but I think I'm going to wait till I make room in the house and bring him back in the house so I can pay more attention, but he was amazing. I loved him. So
I have panthers too. So I have babies. I have Mbanja babies that are growing, all different ages, up from 1 month to 6 months at this point. So at some point I can let those go. I may, but I get these babies and I just don't ever let them go. I have enough room. I can just keep getting them more and more. But this one panther had 5 clutches for me of 12 each. So I've got all those babies in the basement cooking. So
well, you'll have to bring me one, Sean. I want a really cool male. I'm not going to breed them. I just want one as a pet. I think they're awesome. I love to take them out front. My wife has a huge flower garden out front with the archways and all the stuff. I like to take them out and let them crawl around out there, get the natural sun. I just think they're beautiful animals.
Yeah, and that's actually another reason why I've had to cut down on breeding. It's because I don't like selling chameleons. I just don't do it. And so I end up keeping an enormous number of chameleons because I just don't feel like selling them. And the number of babies that have grown up that I'm having right now I probably cut my collection in half by if I actually sold all the ones that I should have sold. So yeah, I know me.
We all do that though. We all have animals that we like to breed. And we hold back and we keep them, and we shouldn't. But
yeah, yeah, I know Oh well. I might be able to show you a Shiba Inu, but they're kind of like cats. You gotta.
Oh, there we go. I got my lady back. Let's see here.
Got him.
Yes, Ray. Yes, Victor. He's the doctor.
This is
my just asking about you, Sean.
Yep, this is my husky replacement. I used to have a husky, but she tore up my house, and I had to let her go somewhere where they had 10 acres. And I got a Cavachon that's black and white, and we got one that's cream colored. So they both replaced other animals. But she obviously can't pull as hard as the husky can. My husky broke a 1,500-pound test line, but this one, she's a little bit more of a lap dog than my husky was at 2 months or even at 5 months. All right. Okay, now we've shown and telled.
My dogs are running around right now. She just let them in, but they're not lap dogs. So,
yep. I don't think Bill's is either, but
no, he does not like being held. That's why I said I had to trap him.
He looks like he's enjoying it. Here.
Yes, Victor, I know who you are. You've got the Chinese rat snake, and I'm still debating whether I should pick that up this Sunday. So you might want to try to convince me of that. I think I still got that cage open, so that may be when I'm coming home with Sunday. So we'll have to figure that out.
Oh, you must have been looking at Victor's Chinese rat snake at the last show, huh?
He actually sold my daughter a couple of rats. So not for food, but they were feeders, but they're pets now. So she got back into those. So
we have that quite
really
often.
Nice.
A lot of customers buy them. A lot of customers buy the rats as pets. I guess males make really good pets. So
we've got pretty much all females. I don't know why we chose this, but we divided and decided not to have babies, so we divided into all females. But I think we might have one that's a male, unfortunately. But we'll have to figure that out as time goes on.
My wife just said that our daughter has 7 now as pets.
There you go.
Well, she's 21, almost 22 years old. She pays for everything herself, so she can have as many as she wants, I guess.
Yep, that's good. Yep, that's very true.
Come on.
All right.
Come here. Here she is. She finally
There we
climbed
go.
Up. There she is.
Oh, well, hello there.
Come on, Amori. Come on up here. Come on. Good girl. Yeah. My wife, she was at a local pet shop. My wife fell in love with her. They rescued her. So basically, we just had to pay for the cage and the vet bill. We got the bird for free.
Wow. That's
we walked in one day to check her out, and the lady's like, well, someone wants to buy her. And I said, nope. My wife grabbed the bird. I went to the bank and got the money, and now she's home with us. And you can see she's getting some good feathers on her right now, starting to get some feathers come back in. So
yeah, see, Vic is already trying to talk me into this Chinese rat snake. I don't know. I can't buy it if you don't bring it with you, Vic. So I'll be there on Sunday.
He'll bring it.
If God willing and the creek don't rise 60 feet. So even then, I'm probably going to leave.
Yeah, he'll bring it. He'll have it there for sure. So.
All right, wheeling and dealing today. All right, Bill. You don't have any more questions for Rob? I don't. I think I have answered enough questions today. I thank you for being here, Rob. Any final thoughts about expos or pets or whatever you'd like to get out there?
No, we're the Glass City Exotics Expo. We're the first Sunday every month. 2020 Lexus Road. We offer breakfast, $6 all-you-can-eat breakfast. We have different lunch. Last month we had tacos. We do different lunch every month. We've had spaghetti, we've had lasagna. 2 months ago, my wife and I actually bought subs and donated subs, so all the public and the vendors all got a whole free lunch from us.
Wow.
Like I said, we do things different. We're family oriented. Our granddaughter runs around there. The kids run around there. It's it's a smaller venue. Not like the one you're used to, Bill, to where the kids can't run around by themselves. The kids run around. Our daughter Jordan helps us out each month. Abby comes and helps us out, runs the door. Jordan's a gecko lady, so she runs a bunch of geckos for us and sets our table up. And it's a family show. We love it. We enjoy it. So
yeah, well,
we're not going nowhere. We're here to stay.
I'll tell you about kids. I was vending at a show, and my son, who was 7 at the time, 5'7", he loved dart frogs, and so he'd ask for some money so he could get a dart frog set up, another one, and so I was busy, of course, with customers and with the show and everything. So I said, okay, yeah, here's your money, and he just disappears into the show. I have no idea where he is. I can't go look for him, and so I just have to trust that things are going to go well. And but he's going out, and and by the end of the show, I finally corralled him, and I was going to go find him, and I finally found him with this dart frog booth. And I went up, and literally both people who were there with the dart frog booth came and blocked me from him because they didn't know who I was, obviously, and they were being protective of this kid. Community sticks together.
Right.
I had to finally, hey, I'm his father. I'm just seeing what he's doing with the money I gave him. And And so there was it was kind of nice to see the community kind of coming together. But as I was leading him back to my booth, everybody, literally every single booth people, hey Keith, as we were going on, he met the entire show.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
So yeah, that was a good story.
Our granddaughter, one of our granddaughters, is 5 years old, and her shirt for the expo actually says the boss on the back of it. She claims she's the boss.
Okay.
And she runs the show. She runs around. They all know who she is. She goes up to the bar. The guys give her pop and water and cups of ice, and we don't even see her half the show. Like, we look around, we know she's in there. She's not going nowhere, but she's at somebody's table and they're feeding her. She's hanging out with animals, and so. That's part of the reason why we do it. You know, we do it for the next venture of children. We hope the next generation is going to do what we do.
Yep. Take care of the kids.
Yep.
So, all right, Sean, I'll let you get on with your closing off. You are muted, Sean.
We lost Sean.
No, he's muted.
I put my I muted my microphone so my dog bark in the background wasn't interrupting us. So anyways, I'm here. I'm saying goodbye, but no one can hear me because I was muted. But thanks for coming on, Rob. I will see you Sunday, I'm sure. And Bill, I'm sure I'm going to see you next week, if not sooner. Everybody have a great 4th of July. That's next week. We'll be here on the 5th, or at least I will be. And I'll have a new guest. Maybe somebody from the expo that we go to, maybe from somebody from the past. We'll see what's going on. Have a good night.
I appreciate you guys. Thanks for having me. Nice meeting you, Bill.
Good meeting you, Rob.
Take care, guys.